is near, your voice is loud, it's crystal clear. Kiwi dreams and hopes collide. Choose the ones who'll stand with pride. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. The future's written in your hand. A chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. In Brazil we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. Fortune in your hand, a chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. In this moment, powers redefined. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor in line. Together we shape this land divine. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. The ballot's here, the moment's hearts aligned. In this moment, power's redefined. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor aligned. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor aligned. Together we shape this land divine. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. The ballot's here, the moment's near. Your voice is loud, it's crystal clear. Kiwi dreams and hopes collide. Choose the ones who'll stand with pride. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor aligned. Together we shape this land divine. The future's written in your hand. A chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. And together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor aligned. Together we shape this land divine. There's a fortune in your hand, a chance to guide and take a stand. Community rising, hearts aligned. In this moment, power's redefined. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor aligned. Together we shape this land divine. It's in the ballot where we belong. Every vote builds a nation strong. Your council, your board, your mayor aligned. Together we shape this land divine. From hills to shores, every voice will soar. Decisions made will open the door to brighter days and skies that shine. Our future's ours, it's yours and mine. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot. It's in the ballot.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the councillors at large for the Masterton District Council. These candidates here are vying for your tips on why they should be the next councillor elected to the Masterton District Council, but with every election there's one thing stepping in their way, and that's your vote. And coming here live from the place that we know is famous for where golden shares happen. And it's quite interesting. We're actually in the same room, in the same venue where golden shares are done. And I believe, is it behind us is where the sharers actually do the sharing? Oh, is it over there?
I think it's out this way.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I was always wondering which way where the sharing actually took place.
Yeah, so the stage is up over here. The sheep go at the back here, come through. We sit here in the public and go yay, 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 and support. Yeah, so and look at over the years I've been to many of them in my lifetime. It's a great event for the Wairarapa and New Zealand as well, no, it's great. This place, this stadium that we're in, has just hosted. I was here like a 8-year-old doing a school dance sort of thing here, so a lot of memories for myself and a lot of people. So yeah. Yeah,
no, it's amazing. You know what comes out of different little parts of New Zealand. So at least we didn't have real life Masterton. It's in the bag to sit there and put it on the map of New Zealand.
Well, it's in the bag. Do you know it's in the bag was actually held here at the Regent Theatre? No, not here, but at the Regent Theatre. Yeah, so there. So I think that's on celluloid somewhere. So there we go.
I'm pretty sure we can find an archive, depending how well TV's install the archive footages of that, because yes, some of them are better than others, but most, I would say, the ones that beat on is the John Hawkesbury, unfortunately, because that was so short. But yeah, there are some good old Selwyn Toogood and Heather Eccleston days, and then there's the Tenika Kapushia days.
Oh gosh, you know a lot.
Oh, I know. Well,
takes me back.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was interesting the bits that went around.
That is thanks for that, Laura. Sorry, Mike's not on. It's interesting. The fact behind that was Heather did no television before doing It's in the Bag, and she was stumped why she got the job.
Sure.
Yeah, and someone said, "Well, you're the right person for the right job. Take it into television."
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, well, now finish off with our history lesson. Let's get off to our candidates. Tony, would you like to give your 1-minute opening statement on why you should receive one of the Council at Large ticks?
Yeah, thanks, Hayden. Good to see you here as well,
and
too.
You too.
And everyone that's watching in and the crew. Look, I'm Tony Hargood, born and bred in Masterton. I think people pretty much know my background and the Hargood family here. Obviously the CEO of Wairarapa Bush Rugby Union for about 11 years. Look, I'm standing for election because Masterton's a great place, the Wairarapa's a great place. There's lots of wonderful, talented people here. I'm also advocating for some really long-term strategies. I'm going to touch on it during the course of the show, but the pre-election report actually worries me. It's forecasting $100 million worth of debt in 2029. We can't leave that sort of debt unchallenged, and I think it's important that we've got another generation coming through we've got to make sure that we provide them with hope and fantastic infrastructure and opportunities. So I have a tremendous focus on the strategy, the long term, and what we leave our kids to inherit. Yes.
Sorry, I don't normally run halfway across the set during filming, but sometimes that needs to happen. Hayden, you're up next.
Oh, thank you. Ko Hayden ahu, ko Ngāti Kahu te iwi, ko Fitzroy te waka, ko Whanganui te awa, ko Taranaki te monga. I stand for building a strong, resilient and future-focused Masterton. My top priorities are clear: invest in smart infrastructure, protect our natural environment, and make Masterton a great place to live, work, and play. I'm right for the role because I bring proven leadership, governance, and a problem-solving mindset. The biggest challenge facing Masterton today is keeping it affordable while managing growth, but I am ready to lead that change.
God, that's a short, sharp, sweet opening statement.
Thank you.
That's all right. That's all right. Now, we don't normally get into these ones here, but we've had a bit of a talk because we've got a low number of candidates here. We've decided we're going to answer all the questions in all the boxes, and we're going to get both candidates to open them. Do we agree on that? You're live now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It sounds like fun.
Let's do it like as our former Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern used to sit there and say. Okay. Was it? Okay, we got A for Alpha. What political parties are you linked to? Let's kick off with Hayden.
Okay. None. I am standing as an independent.
I'm not linked to any parties at all. So yeah, no, very much independent.
God, that's so quick we can't even get the name chirons up. Okay. B, do you support political party endorsements of local government candidates? Let's kick off with Tony.
No, not really. Look, I believe in the freedom of speech, and I think it's really up to each candidate to disclose any endorsement. Look, people are clever. You know, I think we want to just really acknowledge people are clever. They can work that sort of stuff out themselves. So personally, I'd like to see candidates to be independent at all times, especially at local level.
Okay. Hayden.
Thank you. It depends. If you mean a genuine alignment to core community values, then that's okay. But I think local government should be about community representation and not party politics.
Good point. And just to let you know, the oath of office is to put the community, aka the ratepayer, ahead of the political party when you swear your oath of office. But it also mentions about swearing for the whole district. Not really a bit of an issue in, was it Masterton, but other councils with wards that you swear an oath for the whole territory.
Oh, I think that's important. You know, you're here for the people first.
Yes.
And that's what's critical.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to question C. Should rural communities have a say in the operation of council-owned rural water schemes? Hayden.
Yes, I think rural communities should have a say in rural water schemes. They know their networks, and a local voice is essential for good governance.
Look, for me, absolutely the answer is yes. Look, the dynamics of living in a rural environment is so much different from an urban environment. Look, I live out at Riversdale Beach, so that's very much in the rural area. The thing I've learned from being out there for the last sort of 10 years living there is just how incredibly resilient you have to be. You know, the storage of the water and everything like that. So it's a no-brainer. They have to be involved.
I was going to say, do you even have a petrol station out there?
No. That's something that you learn very quickly to make sure that you filled up before you go out. But yeah.
I still remember that, as I call myself now, a city slicker, but I still carry the 20-litre can based on my previous rural living experience. And should we just say, there was, for the first 10 days of It's in the Ballot, we were filling up at the same petrol station in Wellington at $2.30 a litre for petrol.
$2.30, that's pretty good.
Yeah. We paid $2.50 free today at the what's it called, just leaving out of Upper Hutt. So it was a bit of a culture shock for me. But yeah, no, that was something about, the can comes very, very handy for budgeting.
Very much so.
Yeah. D for Delta, what is your views on residential, commercial and industrial growth in the district?
Is that for me to start, I think?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Look, we need growth. Growth's great. It's great for so many different ways. People come here. They come here through moving, through business, or industry, shifting here. And also, I think what you want to look at is also probably what's missed out of that question is what does tourism growth look like for us as well? That's quite critical. So look, a lot of things come down to capacity in the short term, but the long-term plans have to demonstrate that we can manage growth.
Hayden?
Yes, it must be managed carefully. Growth is inevitable. It should strengthen our economy and provide affordable housing and create jobs without undermining the environment or our rural character.
Okay, let's get on to E for Echo. Do you think council is doing enough to maintain Masterton's rural roads? Hayden?
I'd say generally no, they're not, but they are the lifeline for our farmers and our communities. I think they need to be maintained to a higher grade with proper investment for resilience and safety.
Tony?
Look, as I said, I live at Riversdale, so travelling into town quite a bit, and also the people going through to Castle Point. Can I just tell a little story? I know we're allowed to take a minute, but just as a kid growing up going to Castle Point, my parents had a backyard there. From the Riversdale turn-off right through to Castle Point, it was all gravel road. So as a kid, to be able to drive on tar seal roads now, it's quite amazing. But we're seeing a lot of trucks and we're seeing a lot of logging, and as we've got this forestation going on for the green energy programs and all that. So what I read and talking to councillors is that we're always underspending on what we're doing there. So it's a key thing, and if you're going to have growth, which we want, you're going to have investment in roads.
Okay, let's get for F for Foxtrot. There has been national media coverage about candidates' behaviour towards others. What personal values make you a suitable councillor? Tony?
Well, look, first thing on this, being a CEO, or former CEO, should I say, dealing with public facing, you become sort of resilient, a bit of a thick skin to it. But I think the issue here is when councillors are attacking councillors, and to me, that's not good. It's ridiculous in my book. I think it also reflects on the person that's dealing with it, because we're entrusted to be, sensible, human, common people with some good values. So, look, I just think is that a council that works together will achieve so much more. A dysfunctional council will not achieve anything. So I'm all for positive representation at all times and respect.
And Hayden?
I stand for respect, accountability and service. My values are integrity, fairness and hard work. I won't make things personal, but I will focus on the outcomes for the community.
Okay. Now, what's a better reference for G? G for, I think Gordon might be the better word. The government and the Taxpayers Union have accused councils of irresponsible spending with large rates increases. What is your view, Hayden?
Okay, so large rate increases are a challenge, but I do not accept the blanket accusation of irresponsible spending. Many costs are driven by central government mandates, inflation, and underinvestment in the past. What matters now is tightening governance so money is spent wisely.
And Tony?
Yeah, look, I think we've got to just actually differentiate the two organisations here from that comment. So you've got a taxpayers union, which is a social business that's making commentary, and you've got central government, which are actually making decisions, comments of things they can actually affect through legislation and all those different sorts of things. So this taxpayers union is just as good as the Salvation Army that puts out a report every year and like that. So I think we need to just put those into two brackets. I think the key thing here I'd prefer to focus on is the government. I think that if the government wants to make blank statements, they need to back that up. I think that's really important. And just remember, the local government, central government has to work together. You know, they need to work together. So I think if one party's accusing the other party, you're going to get a whole lot of good stuff going on. So, yeah, back it up with some good data, and I think, you know, that's where you can have the conversation. So, yeah.
Okay, let's get for H for Hammer. Yeah, okay, we'll go for Hammer. I was trying to find a local name.
You always go Hargood or
yeah.
Hargood, H for Hargood.
Oh, yeah. I just realised Holdsworth.
Is that ambush marketing? I think that might be.
Yeah, I was going to say the other one I remember was Holdsworth, because I think you access Mount Holdsworth from here.
Or you go H for Hayden as well.
H for Hayden.
True.
Oh, yes, but yes, share the name with the brother, except you've got an E where my brother doesn't. Yeah. Okay, do you support central government introducing rate caps on local authorities? Why or why not? Tony?
No. And there's a couple of reasons. Well, major reason is if you put a cap in, you actually stifle growth and entrepreneurial sort of decision making. All right. And I think it really comes down to the councils about actually managing and understanding what they're actually spending their money on. So, you know, by putting a cap on, they're basically saying we don't trust you. And really, that's not very good for the community. Look, and you know, I'm just going to mention you in the previous one. You talked about Birmingham City going bankrupt from the cap. That is true. I actually looked at that and read a lot about that. So there is a case study. Well, it's more than a case study that capping can actually have disastrous effects. So,
Hayden.
In short, no, but let's be clear. This is an income cap. It'll lead to a reduced level of service and increased charges and fees. My fear is with a potential funding shortfall that it is created, it'll open up the pathway to privatisation. So we have to be very careful.
And the scary thing is, you might end up having to pay a toll just to get out to Castle Point and Riversdale.
Sorry, what was that?
You might have to pay a toll to get out to Castle Point and Riversdale because that road's not a national state highway.
Oh no!
And I know that won't go down well.
Well, let me assure the punters that won't happen on my watch. So there we are. That's an additional question, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's not part of the 28. Yeah. No, it's just that's one way that you can bring in more money because that's a go-to destination.
Yeah. No, that's not happening, Sam. Yeah.
It's all right. I can't suggest the one about what do you call it, using bus lanes as revenue generation because you don't have any.
No.
Yeah, whereas I worked out in one bus lane in Wellington and fines, it could net in $10.5 million a year potentially because of the frequency of rule breakers were at the time, which was about 1 every 4 minutes.
Oh, wow.
No, Ridderford Street by the hospital. Yeah. It was one morning I was in there, and if in 8 minutes, if they ticketed every bus lane violator, they would have made $1,500 in 8 minutes. Yeah. Let's go for I for Indigo. Do you support safer speed limits around schools within the Masterton district, Hayden?
Yes, yes, I do. After all, we have a road code and speed limits, but fundamentally, yes.
And Tony?
Short answer here is yes, very much so. This is our young people. You don't want to be that person that something happens here. So look, it's a very simple yes from me. I also have, unfortunately, as a young person, experienced someone having a deadly accident around for a young kid on the road. It's for me, it's very easy.
And for those who are wondering, at 30 kilometres now, a child has a 90% rate of surviving, which is way higher than what it will be at 50, which it's
At 30, they have a 70% chance of surviving,
this is 30.
and at 50, they have a 30% chance of surviving.
So yeah, they have a 40% increase in chance of surviving by that 20 kilometre differential.
The family that lost their child, who were very close to us, to see what happened there, it's just it's safe around our kids, around our schools. End of subject. It's just
Don't need to be speed traps. Okay, we got J for Juggernaut. Okay, spending must stay within budget without increasing rates. What services or luxuries would you cut back? Hayden.
Naturally, but that's a loaded question. Yes, I think there's still room for nice to haves, but cutting luxuries, that'll be a real blow to the community. And I'm not in favour of blanket cuts. So if it came to it, we'd have to explore and look at all of our costs. Yep.
And Tony.
Yeah, I think the first thing is the question's got to be what is a luxury? What is a luxury? So look, putting a pipe in the ground is not a luxury. That's some of those cool things. Look, I want to go back to my opening gambit where I said, look, we've got a pre-election report that's saying our debt is going over 100 million plus. Our rates are going from 45 million to 60 million. So the question is, we need to understand that before we even start talking about luxuries. Because if you're going to have $100 million worth of debt, and the interest for that 2029 is $6 million, which is phenomenal, you'll be cutting a lot of luxuries because you can't afford anything. So, a lot of questions around that area.
And if we want to be cheeky here, but it won't go down well in a different aspect, I'd like to sit there and cut a luxury of paying my rent. And I can probably say, not sure if homeowners or that, but not paying the mortgage and not paying the rates bill. I mean, that's a nice budget line item to remove, but it's not a nice to have.
Yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are, Hayden, but I think that the question is, and I can only talk about Masterton here, is that we've got rates increasing, and I think one of the things I really want to dispel is this matter where they say, oh, we've kept rates at 7% or 5% or 3%. That's fine, that's in 1 year. But next year, if you do 3% or 5% again, it's all accumulative.
There's that cost pressure.
Yeah, it's all accumulative. The pre-election report, and I'm sorry if I harp on about this, is actually showing some pretty bloody big numbers, and I think people need to be aware of that. So hence why I'm here.
Definitely.
Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think we need to look at our priorities and understand where the future is for us, and focus on delivery and a good level of service,
Mm.
and look at our nice to haves, as they call them, and also what our priorities are around infrastructure, but in a way that's within what we can afford to.
Mm. Okay, let's go for K for kilogram. How would you use deliberative democracy to ensure residents can directly contribute to the challenges facing our urban and rural communities? Tony.
Well, I looked at this. I believe in democracy. I'm a great believer in democracy. Deliberate democracy sort of opens it up a bit further and takes a different path. I don't have a view on this. What I do believe is if I'm elected and I'm sitting around the table, I want to make sure how we consult and how we communicate is the priority for me. If we want to put a label on it, fine. It's going to be a bit of a learn on how do we take a 600-page council paper and tell people the 2 or 3 important points. So, and then you can have that conversation.
Hayden.
I support methods like citizens' assemblies, community panels, and targeted engagement. These tools let residents, urban and rural, directly shape and influence solutions to complex issues.
Okay, we got L for Lima. Do you think the Māori wards, such as Whaka Ori Ori Masterton Māori ward, strengthens democracy? Why or why not? Hayden.
In essence, yes, Maori wards strengthen democracy. When we're talking about 1/5 of our population, it ensures representation that has historically been missing, and as a council, we should reflect all people.
Tony.
Yeah, so very much so. It's an important part, very important part of our community, the Māori population and everybody. We're going through a democratic vote at the moment. So my view is that whatever the vote is will be. However, this is where, and this is my personal opinion, whatever that vote is, and if I'm elected, I will be asking every time, the Māori side, part of the community, are we involving them? How do we get them to the table? They've got to be part of the table. With our 2 iwis here, that they're part of our economy, they're part of our sports clubs. It's everything. So just say, oh, we had a vote, you didn't get in, bad luck, is actually the wrong answer. We've got to keep on bringing everyone to the table. So that's how I see it.
Okay, we got M for Masterton. Central government has claimed councils contributed to the cost of living crisis through wasteful spending. Do you agree? Why or why not? Tony.
Well, let's take this from a personal experience. So, good old central government again. Look, I was on the Fair Pay Agreement working committee, and in that we had the unions around the table, Business New Zealand, myself, and some academics, and Sir Jim Bolger. It was great. One of the things that was really interesting was we said, look, let's pay everyone the living wage. And I came in and I said, well, that's great. Let's pay everyone the living wage. That's easy. What would be the change in the interest rates to wipe out or negate anything? And it was only 1% of increase in interest rates wiped out any benefits from the increase of living wage. So I think what I come back to is that central government has a big impact on your local government. So, councils, everyone contributes to the cost of living.
Hayden.
Councils aren't the cause of the cost of living crisis. Wasteful spending should be addressed, but the crisis is driven mainly by national and global factors. We, as a council, and I will focus on the essentials, but also community welfare too.
Okay. We got in for November. What will you do to stop poor council expenditure, prioritise critical infrastructure, and rein in large cost increases? Hayden.
I come from a central government background in projects and procurement. I'd push for tighter project governance, procurement, and focus spending on critical infrastructure, and work closely with local suppliers to get better value for money. And I think the key to that is transparency.
Tony.
Yeah, look, we've got some big things coming down the road that's happening. We've got the water, Y plus T plus everyone else involved in that. We've got the town hall, we've got the changes to the Building Act, and we've got all these different things happening. So I think, I'll come back to this key point again, is that at the moment we're forecasting some big expenditure, some big debt overlay. I think as a council and councillors, we need to understand what that is, and then it's up to the CEO and the staff to deliver on what we want to achieve. One of the things is that we can't have surprises. Surprises, it's the worst thing that can happen around a board table or council table. So the governance from the councillors to be on top of that and making sure that happens is most important.
Yes, those surprises aren't particularly nice. I know what it's like when it comes to cars, when the clutch pressure plate collapsed. And and that was while driving. So, basically all you could do was you had to wait. Like when you stopped, that was it. Yeah.
Sam, we need to give you some good news stories, everything like that. You run out of petrol, your car's breaking down. The rent's too high. We'll set up a collection for you later on.
I was going to sit there and say, the great news is that you guys will, voters of the councillor at large, will be able to sit there and watch this online, to sit down there at any time. That's a brilliant news story. Yeah, brilliant. What's another good brilliant news story? If Masterton sold the winning lotto ticket?
Yes, it has. It won the 33 million.
Oh,
yes.
It did, I think.
And,
it has.
And two of my family members have been significant winners of the lotto too. So there we go. Sam, I've broken that myth for you as well.
I think should I head to the New World next door and buy a lot? Buy my. If I do buy, I tend to usually buy the $18 triple dip.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah, because that gives you 3 lines of strike. Yeah.
No, Martin has been lucky.
Okay. We got O for Opotiki. Climate change is an increasing issue. What are your thoughts on supporting anaerobic digestion of food waste to produce biogas like the Reparara plant? Note, this is not an incineration of general waste. Tony?
Look, I love the science and science solving problems. I don't know too much about this Reparara situation or the plant. Sounds exciting, sounds an opportunity. Whether we can afford it, whether we should do it, I don't know. But look, science can actually achieve a lot for us. So that's just, I need to learn more about it.
Yeah, Hayden.
Yes, I support the exploration of an anaerobic digestion system for food waste. I think this is the innovation that, for example, we could be seeking. It could help reduce waste to landfill, create renewable energy, and support our climate change initiatives.
Okay, we got P for Paitua. Even though it's not in the district, it's a little bit better than saying Paraparaumu. Yeah. Masterton is set to grow but major challenges remain. What do you see as the most pressing challenges, and how would you address them in order of priority? Hayden.
Through our long-term plan, we need to investigate and put more strategy around infrastructure and resilience, including water, roads, and housing. Affordability, managing rates while protecting essential services, and climate change. We need to future-proof for any sudden changes that may arise in the future.
Yeah, look, it sounds like a really big question, but the answer is actually, in my view, quite simple, which is, growth is great. It's good. We should be encouraging it. Look, we just have got to make sure our long-term strategic plans are sound. We reference back to them, and we have clear what-if plans in there. What's our risk profile, and how do we encourage our community to go and invest?
Okay, we got Q for Quebec. Masterton District Council has lost experienced staff in the roading, engineering and planning, leading to higher costs from outsourcing and traffic management. How would you rebuild in-house expertise and make better use of local businesses to reduce cost? Tony.
Now this one is, when I saw the question, I was actually a little bit surprised about, losing staff and all that. So I'm not quite sure what that means. Is that internally or externally or whatever? But one of the things I'm standing for is that I'm a great supporter looking at amalgamation of all our three councils. That conversation needs to happen. So something like roading, when you're looking across three council, actually makes these decisions and these discussions a lot easier to actually have. We've got some great businesses here, some great construction companies, roading companies, and all that sort of stuff that happen. I think there's quite a big subject, actually. I don't think 1 minute really would even give it justice.
Hayden.
I'd prioritize rebuilding in-house capacity in the project teams around roading, planning, and engineering. But also, I share the view that if we can syndicate or share services with other councils, that should be an opportunity worth exploring.
A slight side note, but talking about crossing boundaries of different councils, one that's always reminded me as someone who has been a stallholder at Wings Over Wairarapa selling coffee is the fact that it's South Road on the Masterton end and Hughes Line on the Carterton end literally stops at a river, but looks like a bridge could be placed there.
Yep.
I don't know if there's any history behind, was it something that was planned that just never eventuated? But could that be something of combined services could connect those links?
Having driven out there 100 times, probably 100 million times, I've never really, your observation's way better than mine.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Hoodie-Aerodrome, and because whenever I do Wings Over Wairarapa, I always stay in Carterton. Yeah. And that was something that's like, it'd be nice if you can get this road and we can bypass all the traffic trying to turn right into Solway Crescent and into the South Belt and try to get around there. And it's always, and this is like, this road just like, it nearly connects, but it doesn't.
Well, I think the thing is just talking about Wings Over the Wairarapa, and we're talking about growth of, we need to get that back. Amazing group of people have done a wonderful job, and they've just had a bit of bad luck with weather and so forth. I think weather's probably been the biggest driver. So we've got to actually get that back, and if we get that back, then we can solve your
could put a Bailey Bridge and charge a toll on it. Sorry, I'm not the biggest supporter of toll roads, but I do somehow pay for. I'm happy to pay the tolls when I use them. We got R for Romeo. Tactical paving tiles for visually impaired pedestrians are limited in Masterton. Do you see installing more of these as a core council responsibility or a nice to have? Hayden.
Yes, installing tactile paving for the visually impaired is a core council service. Accessibility isn't a luxury, it's inclusion, and it should not be a question.
When I read this question, because we got these sent out on pre.
I know, I was the one who sent them.
I actually made me sit up and look, because it just sort of reminded me of all the different people in the community, and I'd never really thought about it. So I think from the previous show, I think the correct thing was, let's go talk to the people. Isn't the best thing. But it was a really good reminder that we represent so many different people with so many different issues or or things they have to contend with.
Yeah, and that question was from a supporter of the show, Kyle Little, who's a blind advisory person for Wellington City Council. But he said, chuck it in every single one of your council shows. The community needs to know where they stand.
Oh, I thought, it was really, it really got me.
Yeah. Okay, we got S for Sam. Be me. I thought that was and another. Is it nice to have or a core responsibility? Cycleways are developing across the Masterton district. Do you consider them as core council responsibility or a nice to have? Tony?
I actually, I'll put this in the both category here. As I think they are good to have, I think, especially off-roading and so forth. And it's important that we get people active. I like sport, 30 years professional sport. Of course, anything that gets a person out of a car running around or anything like that. So it's going to have my support. Where the traffic and the cyclists meet, I think that's quite a big challenge how you do that. But anything off-roading or anything that's getting kids, all of us walking, riding, cycling, I'm in for it.
And
definitely, I think the key is keeping active. In that sense, cycleways are core. They promote safety, health, a low carbon transport option, and investment in them is key if it's linked with community demand. And I'm a strong advocate for outdoor activity. I run, I cycle, hike. I think these are core.
Okay, let's get to T for the telephone. And quite funny, Masterton was the first telephone exchange in the country to have 111.
Oh,
Wow, I've learned something.
oh, there we go.
Yeah, first telephone exchange. And the first prank 111 call happened within the hours of it asking for directory services. Yeah, okay. Now, this might not be quite... Now, I'll be honest, this originally came from South Wairarapa, but I do notice your mayor is not standing re-election. The outgoing mayor has faced pressure and derision. Ignore that part of it. Let's just go to this. How will you ensure respect, accountability, and transparency while working with differing views? Hayden.
I will commit to respectful debate and accountability and decision making and transparency with the public. Differing views, they should be respected and not weaponized. I think this is part of the culture or the work culture that we should be actively promoting. And I'll be in favour of a more accountable approach to approaching challenging conversations.
So, look, a united council achieves so much more. It's real simple. So, the leader of the pack is obviously going to be the mayor. They chair the meetings. They're in charge of that quality of discussion, the robustness of it. Everyone's got to contribute. I'm definitely against any sort of over talking or personalisation, absolutely against it. You know, one of the greatest things you can actually do in a meeting is something called possibility listening. And if you don't know what possibility listening is, go have a look at it. And that's basically everyone comes to the table and they've all got something good to say or important stuff to say. And if you have your ears open and listen to it, you'll actually make some really good decisions. Absolutely fantastic decisions. I've been on good boards, I've been on bad boards. But good boards achieve so much more.
Okay. We got you for Yudawera. What is your approach to handling controversial or complex issues? Tony.
Well, first thing on this one, I actually enjoy them. I actually enjoy them.
Sound like you're a problem solver.
I enjoy them, and I think people who know me personally, understand my background and know that. So, look, the key thing is it's like a fraction. Break it down to the lowest denomination, get to what it's all about, and then start working on that through. I mentioned earlier on. The council papers can be up to 600 pages long. Now, that's important for council and all like that, but and in there is a lot of words and a lot of graphs. How do we get that down to a very simple discussion document which we can communicate out? You've got to make sure always you're asking the right questions and looking for the best result.
And Hayden.
In this example, I listen first, engage openly, and focus on the facts. Controversial issues are required. It's good for a challenge, but I also weigh up evidence and fairness, and not knee-jerk reactions.
Okay, let's go for V for violin. If elected, would you reduce spending on grand projects and focus on essential infrastructure like roads and water? Hayden.
I wasn't sure on the definition of a grand project, but if it was beyond the infrastructure that we're all focused on, I would prioritize it and focus on essential infrastructure like water, waste, and roads. And those essentials should come first, but not at the cost of having community and the so-called nice to haves. We still need a community that fosters inclusion and not at the cost of having infrastructure. So, yeah.
And Tony.
I think Hayden's quite correct there. What is a grand project? We need to define that. But look, I think to have a vibrant environment going forward, you do actually need big plans, big ideas. But it's got to come back to the debt profile and the cost profile as well. So, I'll use the town hall because it's going to be debated about through this election. So let me to put my view on it very quickly. Is that let's say it's going to cost $30 million. All right. If you're a landlord, you want a 6% return. Say it's $1.8 million in revenue you get from it. Trust me, you ain't going to get $1.8 million worth of revenue. So that actually becomes a cost and an embedded cost. Grand projects are great. I'm all for them. I'll be a great supporter of them. But let's get the debt profile right.
Okay. Let's get to W for whiskey. I forgot what I was going to say. The Māori name that's for Masterton, but that doesn't roll off.
Whake ori.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Yeah, sorry, that name doesn't ring off me. I grew up on the Kapiti Coast and then the Horowhenua. Those Māori names ring more of a bell for me. Why do you think you are right for the role of councillor? Tony.
Oh, it's me. Well, first of all, I think the voters will tell me if I'm right for the role or not. So, look, very simple, and just want to talk to the people. Yeah, look, this is my town. I'm part of this town, and I'm proud to be a Mastertonian. East School I went to, Cornwall Street School, Chanel College, Waifra Bush Rugby, Marist Rugby Club, so many other things. I've walked these streets. This is my town.
Hayden.
Excellent. I bring energy, vision, and practical expertise. I know how to deliver projects, manage costs, and hold systems accountable. Most importantly, I'm driven by a sense of service to the people of Masterton. So, thanks.
Okay, we got X for X-ray. Would you advocate for more safe pedestrian crossings on High Street and possibly any other main arterial state highway roads?
Who's that?
Hayden.
In short, yes, I would advocate for more safer crossings. Safety and accessibility is a key before traffic. Yeah, there we are.
Tony.
Well, I sort of went one step further. Actually, I'd actually, excuse me, advocate for a lot of things for High Street because it's our main trunk line, and more importantly, it's actually our gateway to Masterton. You know, we come down from Opaki, we've got the beautiful roundabout, and the stadiums that are here and all that sort of stuff. High Street's just a long drag. We've done some great work with roundabouts at the top end like that. So I think High Street could have a project in its own about what needs to happen there.
Yeah. We got Y for Yankee. Auckland Council. Oh. Sorry from our audience for clapping.
Why for what?
I call you a Kiwi because you're a naturalised New Zealand citizen, Nick. I think like every person standing in this room would be.
So, yeah,
Did you say Yankee?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
because under the phonetic alphabet,
it is.
that is what Y is.
It is actually.
Yeah. Okay. Auckland Council now removes recycling bins from households that contaminate recycling with general waste. Should Masterton consider doing the same thing? Hayden.
I've thought about this one. I think education comes first. Punitive removal of rubbish bins could punish families unfairly, but I'd support better education and feedback and investment in processing infrastructure and not blanket penalties.
Tony.
Oh, I thought it was actually quite a blunt instrument. To be honest, look, I actually lived in Auckland for 12 years, so trust me.
Which suburb?
Roughly what?
Which suburb?
Mount Wellington.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Mount namesake of the capital.
Yeah. So, and I've actually been to the recycling place up in Auckland. It's actually huge for a start. Auckland's dynamics are way different from us. I just think we need to be nimble. And I think Hayden's right. Go have a conversation with them. I don't think we need a town hall meeting or number 3.
Having Mayor Quimby sitting down there and giving a lecture about what do you call how to get your recycling right.
I would, if I was sitting at council and that came up in a council meeting, I would just turn to the CEO of the staff and say, well, I think you need to go sort that out. Yeah, not really a council decision.
Okay. Okay, we got Z for Zulu. What is one big opportunity or challenge you see for the district? Tony.
Well, I think we need to keep on our social housing side of it. I think there's been some good work being done around that area. I'd still like to see a lot more investment. We've got an ageing population coming through, And again, a lot of those don't actually own their own houses, and they'll move from whatever benefits to another benefit. So my big thing is, and I want to come back to this pre-election report, is that at the moment, people are paying $100 a week and rates on average. I could be wrong there, but let's just call it $100 for this exercise. By 2029, that's going to look like 120, 150. So this is a real issue for us. All the reports, even in the WYT, it actually said we've got an aging population. So let's focus on that, mate.
Hayden.
Oh, there are so many. I think the biggest opportunity is positioning Masterton as a hub for outdoor recreation and locally made products. The biggest challenge is balancing growth with affordability and our environmental protections.
Okay, let's get for A, for where Trump and Putin should go to, Autocratics Anonymous. Do you support household food waste collections to stop organics going to the landfill? Tony?
I'm not an expert on the data or the information in there. Do you know what? In the original rules, you're allowed to defer, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to use my defer card.
To which one of the candidates who couldn't participate today?
So, look, we live in the country, so we do a lot of recycling. I talk to the people who know best.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hayden?
I would say yes, I'm involved in many community projects, especially around food sovereignty and growing food. I'd support household food waste collection being collected to reduce landfill and create useful compost. We have a population that needs to put food on their tables. And I'm all for a circular economy, which would see that waste being reused.
Okay. And the last of the box questions, AB for Alpha Bravo. What is your biggest priority for the next term, and how do you intend on delivering it? Hayden?
Okay, my biggest priority is strengthening infrastructure while keeping rates under control. I'll do this by focusing on the essentials, demanding accountability, and using local expertise to deliver smarter.
And Tony?
Look, I'm just going to come back to this debt situation. So, based on the pre-election report, it's saying in 2034, debt's going down to $24 million. Sounds exciting. Sounds bloody good. But reality is part of that is that debt's being moved over to here somewhere, and we've got this debt with the waterworks and all that, so forth like that. So the thing that we're going to have to deliver on as a council is actually to be really good governors of that transfer of assets and making sure it delivers back. So very much the first couple of years, I'll be really focused on honing in on that. There'll be other skill sets around the table who can work on some of these other, bring some really good stuff there. And of course, I'm very clear about my investment in sport, recreation, art, tourism.
Okay. Shall we get ready for hard-hitting questions? No, you'll have to use the actual computer. It's funny just watching.
Hard-hitting questions. We don't get anything funny. What does a question? Because every candidate has answered the hard-hitting questions.
Okay, so let's get on for the hard-hitting questions, are the most important ones for the district. Let's kick off with hard-hitting question number one. What would be your top 3 spending priorities if elected? Tony?
Well, I don't think it'd be the top 3 priorities for me. It'll be the big plan. Yeah, that's how I will be focusing on it. You know, I've made it very clear, reducing debt, very important. You know, paying interest is $6 million. I mean, imagine if we didn't have to pay that and it was going into the community. So that's a really a big priority in that as well too. And I'm still struggling with this concept that our rates are going from 45 million to 60 million, because that's hard coded. And you know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of debt going into projects that are economically sound, that helps and commits and encourages growth. So I think there's a lot of governance. That's my biggest priority. And governance manages spending, doesn't it?
Yeah, set policies out. Hayden?
I think in supporting the chief executive in his or her role, the top 3 spending priorities would be, if elected, core infrastructure, water, roads and waste, water, climate resilience and flood protection, and of course community facilities that support a place where we can all live, work and play.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 2. Do you support amalgamation with Masterton, South Wairarapa and or Taranua District Council? Why or why not? And I'd just like to make it clear, the person submitting the question didn't differentiate between whether it's a unitary authority, a great super council, or if it's sharing of services such as the water. Hayden?
Okay, I'm assuming it's not the water, but I understand that that has already been signed off. I think collaboration on services is a positive thing, but we have to be careful. Amalgamation may, and if this is in the broader sense, you can risk losing your local voice. So that's why we need everyone at the table at council, including mana whenua. So that's why we should be including everyone on the kaupapa here. Yeah.
Okay, Tony.
Oh, look, my views are very clear on here. I'm very much want to get amalgamation discussions back on the table, to have a look at that. You know, we've got a population of, depends which map you read, of 45 to 60,000 people that live through here. And the thing is that we've got a lot of duplication in a lot of areas. You know, some of these questions are talking about roading. You can be way more efficient if you're doing a road from, Featherston, through to Ekirahuna. So those are lots of common sense stuff and the duplication of cost. The other thing is we don't actually need to go spend a lot of money on lots of consultants work like that. We've got some amazing people that could actually do this work for us here locally. And I think that's really important. I'm all for starting that conversation.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 3. God, this feels like quick when there's 2 candidates. What is your position on retaining the Whakaoriori Masterton Māori Ward for Masterton District Council and the Te Upoko I Te Ika a Maui Māori constituency for Greater Wellington Regional Council, and why? Tony?
Oh, look, I think I've sort of discussed that earlier before. I think let's look down the track. Everyone needs to be involved. Democracy might not get us here at this very point in time what we want, but I think any council that comes in will be making sure that they're at the table, and it's as simple as that. And I will be making sure that happens. So that's my personal view.
Yeah. Hayden?
I support retaining it. It would strengthen democracy and ensure Maori perspectives are part of the decision-making process, especially when it comes to issues around sustainability and environmental protections.
Okay. Well, that looks like we've gone through 31 questions that were in there, a couple of random supplementaries that were fought off on the hoof, as you do when you got a small bunch of candidates. Now it's time for closing statements. Should we not be so strict? Should we put the 2-minute timer on instead of the 1-minute timer? Why not? Okay, who would like to go first?
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Oh,
No.
twice?
There's a
Okay.
2-minute. There's two 2-minute ones in there. The next to the other 1-minute timer. That's the one.
All right, here we go. So, I am a strong community advocate. I stand for a strong, resilient, and future-focused Masterton. My top priorities are clear: invest in smart infrastructure, protect our natural environment, and make Masterton a great place to live, work, and play. I'm right for this role because I have proven leadership, governance, and problem-solving skills, and I am keen to work for you.
Okay, Tony.
Hey, first of all, just thanks for the opportunity for being here. And Hayden, really nice to meet you as well. So,
Yeah, it's great.
top guy. I want to be really clear about something here. I think the most important vote that the Masterton District Council, ratepayers and everyone is actually voting for who you want to be mayor. Because that mayor is actually going to lead this community for the next 3 years. So that's really important. We've got 4 great candidates. I'm definitely not going to endorse any of them because they're all sort of friends of mine in some capacity. But I think that's the first most important vote to go forward. The second one is that we need to make sure that we vote for councillors who are going to be really community focused and really drive on it as. We've got some big divisions at the moment around the town hall and the water and all that sort of stuff. So just remember, they're decisions that have been made by the previous council, okay? They're decisions. The new incoming council with the new mayor has the opportunity to create their own legacy, So, I'd like to be part of it, but I also know that it's all in your hands. So, what's best for the Wairarapa, whatever it is, I'll support that. Who's ever got elected, I'll support them.
I'd like to say thank you for coming and supporting us today on, I'd say, a bit of a cold, foggy morning as it started off with driving over through the Hutt Valley and the Remutuckers. Yeah. Thank you for coming there. I'd also like to thank Nick and Laura who, weirdly enough, are doing remote editing in studio. Editing, yeah, and Nick for being the on-site editor and the camera person. Also like to thank Stacey for doing the graphics, Paul for coming in earlier for the 1 p.m. show to do the 1:30 p.m. show for doing the remote editing and that. Just a little bit of a fun part before we go. It's in the Ballot is an independent non-profit organisation that is funded on small dollar donations. These shows are run on the smell of Nori Rag and are done by volunteers who commit their time to sit there and make these events happen. If you'd like to, you can also help support It's in the Ballot Productions by heading to either our Give a Little page. You can put a donation on there. You can go to our Eventbrite ticketing option and put in a koha without permission option on there, or you can always head to our website to itsintheballot.nz and head to donations here and do a direct credit deposit into our bank account. And starting today, as in I got the email at 7:30 this morning, we have been accepted into the YouTube Partnership Program, and you can donate. You can give a super chat for your support for the show. So or a super sticker or something along those lines. So if you'd like to, that's a new option that's on the cards that has just started today. So candidates, thank you for being here. It's not easy putting your feet to the It's in the Ballot fire, but I think you two might have found who else to give your votes to. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you, everyone.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah.